Our oceans are one of our most precious resources, and because they're so near and dear to our hearts here in Southern California, we talk a lot about the fight to keep them clean here on this show. Our next guest has taken up the conservation fight, and as an entrepreneur himself, thinks other businesses and CEOs should probably be doing the same. Rising the Tide Summit founder Vipe Desai is here to talk all about the summit and his testimony in front of Congress. Hi, how are you?
Good, great to be here.
So, oh my goodness, not a lot of people get called to testify in front of Congress about something so important. You were there to talk about the opposition to offshore drilling off of our coast. What an important cause.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I feel so fortunate to be able to carry that message up to our lawmakers. I've learned over the past 30, 40 years of being a resident of Southern California how important clean ocean is to our economy, but also to jobs and to our coastal communities. And I wanted to make sure that congressional leaders heard that message. We are opposed to a new offshore oil drilling. We don't need it.
Right. And of course, what you're referring to is the Trump administration plan to expand that offshore drilling, not just on our coast, but on the East Coast as well and up in Alaska.
Absolutely. It's Alaska, it's West Coast, it's the East Coast, and it's also throughout the Gulf as well.
I think what's interesting about the perspective, though, is that you really look at it from a money standpoint, an economic standpoint, which is what CEOs and people who own businesses want to hear. Because how is this going to affect their bottom line? Instead of more offshore drilling, you would think that would create more energy and you would get more jobs out of that, but you think something different.
Yeah, well, look, first and foremost, people come down to the beach because they want to recreate, they want to have fun. And when they come down, they also spend money. They go to the local restaurants, the coffee shops, the businesses, and if they're going to stay for a couple of days, they're staying at the hotels. So there's an economic message there. We don't want that to be disrupted. We know what happens when there's an oil spill. We saw it firsthand when the BP oil spill happened. Our friends and businesses in that region were affected. We saw what happened at the Santa Barbara oil spill almost 50 years ago, and also the Refugio oil spill in 2015. So it's already tough enough being a business owner. To add a layer of a potential disaster that would take place, it's just not necessary.
I want to just circle back to your congressional testimony. First of all, I want to ask, what was that like? Was it terrifying to sit there and be grilled by a panel of congressmen?
I was a little nervous when I was first asked. Wasn't sure what to expect. It definitely felt it was going to be intimidating, but I had a great team of people around me that were assuring me that I was going to be fine and that they would make sure that I would be comfortable. And I'd been preparing too for the written and oral testimony as well. So it wasn't just showing up unprepared.
Right.
I was already prepared beforehand, my testimony, but I was also passionate about the issue beforehand. So I really just got the opportunity to sit there with congressional leaders and present the facts as they were.
Right. And did you feel like you were heard? Did you feel like you were able to make any progress, or is it hard to tell in that environment?
You know, I think in traditional periods when there is more bipartisanship, I think the testimonies would have been heard. I think in this time that we're in right now, I think the administration has its own plans of what it wants to do based on the needs of special interest groups, but there is bipartisan opposition to offshore oil drilling, and the administration is not hearing it.
Yeah. So is there something that people that are watching can do to bolster that effort? Just because I think that it is such an important issue to all of us in California, especially on the West Coast, because if this were to move forward, this is going to affect all of our beaches. Is there something everyone can do that's watching?
Yeah, look, protecting our coast is in the benefit of everybody. It's not...
And there's an economic part to that too, so business owners need to pay attention to that.
Absolutely. First and foremost, the business owners should pay attention. They should join defendthepacific.org. Go to our website. It's easy to join and lend us your voice. The more names that we have on a list that we can send up to members of Congress shows that this is a growing issue and there's growing concerns. So that's the first thing that we can do. Now, individuals and consumers, they should be following what's going on with this proposed plan when it comes out. It's supposed to be coming out in the next 7 to 10 days. So behind the scenes, we are preparing for, countering this message that comes out.
Right.
But individuals should be aware. They should reach out to their local representatives, let them know that this is of concern to them.
Right. All right. Well, it's all very, very important. We will put links to all that you have talked about on our Facebook page, so it'll be really easy to find and find your congressperson so you can connect with him or her and put your name on that list, especially if you own a business. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Tomorrow.